live in 5, 4, 3.
What's up, friends? Welcome to Chaos Live with the new set, by the way. So we got the whole new layout with the American flag, chaos behind me, a new room. It's the old room used to be that way, and now I moved it this way to a larger room. If you saw like my YouTube stories thing, I was talking about it. I think I talked about it a little bit on Instagram as well. So this is the new set. New videos will be shot in here. So it looks a lot cooler. It's a little bit more spacious. I like it. I dig it. So welcome to Chaos Live. If you have never been to Chaos Live, this is my weekend live stream where I get to hang out with you guys and just have a good time and you know, answer questions if you have questions. Chat about whatever. I don't like talking about politics, so no politics, but we can do whatever. I mean, you probably want to know about the Army, so that's cool. If there's other little side questions, then, you know, that's cool too. That's not a big deal, but I don't like politics, and let's not get too crazy with certain things. So thank you guys, all you awesome people that were in here early. Let's see, I'll name off a few, because there's quite a few of you guys that were in here early just hanging out and chatting. We got Evie, we got Danny, Jerk My Crank, we got Shane, we got Walter, we got Tracy Lynn, sorry, Keith God, the Traveling Soldier, Bill Black, quite a few of you guys, even some newer ones. We got Nina, we got Charles, Doug the Eliminator. So awesome, welcome to Chaos Live. So if you have questions, you can leave those down in the chat. I'll answer those the best that I can if I know the answers to them. Sometimes the chat gets crazy, and there's a lot of questions, and I miss your question, and I can't answer them all. So I apologize if that ends up happening. But we'll do my best. We already, off the bat, we got what, Jack Man Mural. Thank you for the donation. You're awesome. Thanks for the $1.99 donation. So you get the first thing of what's going on. Just had a meeting with the Army Recruiter today. Well, awesome, Jack. What MOS are you going for? You have a MOS in mind that you want to shoot for and all that kind of stuff? So yes, and then Jay the Vorn, everyone hit that like button. Let's up the ante a little bit. We got a new set. Let's feel inspirational. Let's feel motivated. Normally we try for a 50 like on the stream before it ends after an hour. This time, let's try for 100 likes. Let's see if we can get the stream to 100 likes before it's over. All right. So if you're enjoying it and you want to try to get the stream to 100 likes, make sure to hit that thumbs up. So, all right. Love the. Let's see what we got here. Let's go back a little bit. Stop by Chisel Chest Pizza and Subs. Some people say they got notifications, some people say they didn't. What was this one? Leaving for basic training July 30th at Fort Jackson. Any advice? Well, so you got July 30th, you got good enough time. I would do a lot of cardio. If you can do a lot of cardio, that'll really help. You know, work on your push-ups, sit-ups, all that kind of stuff, because there's probably a good chance maybe you might still do the normal PG test. I don't know. Some basic trainers are going to be trying out the new one, but I don't know when they're going to start doing that. But, you know, just trying to get it all in the thing. But mainly cardio. If you can really work on cardio, that'll really help out. We got Jack donating another one. We got another super chat. 11 Charlie, man, thanks for the super chat. Did you actually get 11 Charlie in your contract, or are you doing 11 X-ray? Because I know sometimes it's tough to get if you want to try to choose 11 Charlie or 11 Bravo. A lot of times they just give you 11 X-ray, and you just got to hope for the best. But Mortarman, sounds cool. That'll be awesome. Always wondered how tall you are. I am 6'2", so fairly tall, I guess. Jay the Vorn, what do you guys say? Questions. Since the Oscars are tonight, what is everybody's favorite military movie? Let's see what mine would be. Military movie? I don't know. I don't know if I have a lot of military movies that I like. Saving Private Ryan's a good movie. Yeah, Full Metal Jacket's a good. I see Danny said that. Tie between We Were Soldiers and Saving Private Ryan. American Sniper. I've never seen American Sniper. You know what? Okay, it's gonna sound stupid, but probably my favorite military movie is probably In the Army Now. Hilarious movie. I know, kind of, you know, Pauly Shore's kind of fallen off the wagon and not really been that great anymore. But I like In the Army Now. That movie's hilarious. So I would say In the Army Now. Anybody mention that one? No. So, but yeah, I like In the Army Now. That's a good movie. What's up, T-Dog? How's it going? So currently in the process stage of joining the Army for 31 Bravo. Is there any reason why there's so much clearance needed for this MOS? What's the 31 Bravo? I don't even know what a 31 Bravo is. Let's see, 31 Bravo MOS. Army, military, police. It's just, you know, police stuff. So, I mean, yeah, you have to have a security clearance to be a police officer. But there's a lot of, well, not really a lot of jobs in the Army that have required security clearances, but that happens to be one of them. Just because of some of the sensitive items you were working with, different things like that. You have to have a security clearance for that kind of thing. So, yeah. Can you join the Army with, what is it, gastrolitis? I don't know how to pronounce that. I don't know medical stuff. I'm not very good with medical things. I can take a guess, and I don't know. But, yeah, not super good with that kind of thing. So, what's your favorite war movie, Chris? Like I said, probably in the Army now. No, I don't know, though. When do you get glasses? Probably when I was in the first grade, so I was pretty young. I was like 6 or 7. Will you be watching the next pay-per-view coming up next weekend? Or what are your picks? Hell yeah, Jacob. Of course I'll be watching that one. John Jones is one of my favorite UFC fighters, so of course I will be watching that one. That one's going to be good. I think John Jones will pull it off. Then you have, what is it, with the co-main, there's another, was it Tyrone Woodley? Is it Tyrone Woodley? And I forget who he's going up against, but Tyrone Woodley will probably pull it off. I forget who else was fighting on the card, but yeah, John Jones is probably one of my favorite UFC fighters, so I got to root for him. Band of Brothers was good. That was like a good series. I liked Generation Kill. Generation Kill was an awesome series. I liked that one. Where was your favorite place you deployed to? Well, considering if you're talking about like combat deployments, I only deployed to Iraq. So I guess Iraq, because it's the only place I deployed to, but I wouldn't even say I liked it. Really, I mean, there were some things about it that were interesting and I liked, but it'd be, yeah, I don't know if I'd really consider it that I liked it. I'm sitting in reception right now, leaving for basic training tomorrow. Holy crap, Thomas! Well, good luck. Have fun. So you're going to basic training on a Monday, all right? So it's a good day to start, you know. You'll be doing this first week. Just be aware this first week is reception week. Super boring. They're still somewhat strict on you, but they're not going to do all the crazy smoking, you know, and making you do a bunch of exercises just yet. Not to get into that next week of actually starting basic training. You'll have to do like a little pre-PT test that's like a really low standards. You're getting issued all your uniforms, doing all sorts of crazy stuff. The drill sergeants are still kind of, you know, mean to you or whatever, you know, somewhat, but not as crazy when you actually start doing actual basic training. So I'm about to take the ASVAB. I was wondering what you scored. Oh God, I probably did horrible. When I took the ASVAB, I didn't really know if I was going to join the military or not. I knew that if you took the ASVAB, you got out of class. So I was like, yeah, I'll go take the ASVAB. So I got out of class, and it was one of those things where if I knew the answer pretty well on the ASVAB, then I answered it. But if it was something that took a lot of like thinking about it, or a math problem that really had to work out the problem, I just guessed the answer and would fill in a bubble. So I didn't try super hard. So I don't think it was a great ASVAB score. It was a good enough score to qualify for the Army. I qualified for a good handful of MOSs, but the thing that screwed me was had a partial color blindness. So because I had a partial color blindness, it eliminated a lot of MOSs for me because of that. But I don't think it was a great ASVAB score. I don't know. I don't even know if I'd have to find some kind of military records and see if I could find what my AFQT score was from the ASVAB, if I could. Hurt Locker is a good movie. I've never seen Hurt Locker either, so I need to check that out. Watching you live stream while doing a 12-mile road march, 4 miles to go. Whoa, awesome, Eugene. Yeah, I saw your pictures on Facebook on the page that you commented. So that's awesome. So you're doing a 12-mile, like 4 miles to go. That's awesome. Yeah, I just did a 14 today. It was really rough because this week I was really busy with doing work stuff where I was working some weird hours, and I didn't get a chance to really do my lunchtime workouts that I usually do, and so that really kind of threw everything off, and I was really hurting around mile 9. So I did 14 today. Next weekend we're doing 16, and then I'm going to dumb it down a little bit more because that'll be the final weekend before the main one, and that one will be probably a 10-miler, something a little bit smaller, and then I'll have to do some kind of short little ones in between just to kind of keep everything up because I don't want to be sucking when it comes time for that 26-milers. So 26 miles is coming up pretty soon. So we got a donation. Elite Archer, almost forgot. Well, thank you for the donation. Glad you made it to Chaos Live. You just gotta set an alarm, remember? Set an alarm clock. Read my comment at 6:38. Oh man. Let me see. 9mm, huh? Let's see if I can find it. If I can't find it, I mean, how far back is it? If it's really far back, it's gonna be tough to find, man. I don't see one from that far back. You're probably just gonna have to comment again, because I'm going pretty far back here. And oh, there. I see hello. Is that the one you're talking about? The last comment I saw from you, 9mm, was hello. I have to say go. I have to go. So bye. Well, sorry. Thanks for stopping by, 9mm. Let's see. I saw something I missed earlier. Can a top trained soldier in combatives beat the UFC champion? No, I don't think so. I think it takes a lot more training than just doing some combatives. You know, a lot of those people that are actually in the UFC have been doing this for years and years and years. And some, I mean, you know, I don't know if it'd be the champion. That's kind of tough to say, but who knows? You never know. You never know. Another super chat? The lights don't look like they stand out quite as much in here when they're blinking. You can still kind of notice it in the background, right? When there's a super chat. But the Traveling Soldier with a donation. Thanks, Traveling Soldier, man, you rock. What we got? We got, what's your best memory while on Fire Guard in Basic? Okay. I remember the drill sergeant. It was probably, I think it was a Friday night or a Saturday night. I feel like it was a weekend kind of a thing. And one of our drill sergeants came in. He was probably pretty hammered. He was pretty drunk. I was on guard. He comes in with some girl into the barracks, and they went in. He kind of gave me, and I think there was me and another dude on shift, and he gave me and him some shit and like got in our faces and was probably trying to show off for this girl. You could tell he'd been drinking, I feel like. And then they took off into his office, and I think I was maybe on guard for another half hour, because in basic training usually you're not on guard for super long, maybe like an hour, maybe 2 hours, maybe. And they didn't come out of that office during the time when I got off. So I don't know if later they came out, but yeah, I remember that. So that was kind of crazy. What's the score on the ASVAB for 88 Mike? It was on the, was it food and operator section? I don't remember. I did a MOS Monday on it recently. I forget what the score is, though. I don't have any of them memorized. So, and that's just a certain section. So it's kind of tough to say like that one MOS is easier to get than another one, because a lot of them go off of different sections of the ASVAB. So it depends on how you score in that specific section to determine if you qualify for an MOS or not. Certain sections may be harder to score higher in than others. It just kind of depends. So I got a felony at 17, but the case was expunged. Can I join the Army and get a security clearance? I'm 21 now, ship out June 30th. I lied on my SF-86. Will the investigator find out I lied, or am I good? If it was removed from your record, then I don't believe they'll see it on there. I don't know 100% for sure, but if it's been removed from your record, kind of a thing, then you should be okay, I think. But not 100%. But I think so, maybe. I don't know. Love your new setup. Thanks, Eugene. I like it too. It's pretty cool. Might have to do a little video. Maybe kind of doing a tour of the new office. Maybe it'll be like a special video where it'll be like unlisted, but I'll post it like in the community tab or something like that, to where if people are really interested in it, maybe you can see it from the community tab, and it'll just be an unlisted video, so normal whatever, you know, subscribers won't actually see it. So Chris, you should do a video about the different unit mottos, airborne all the way. That'd be a lot. I feel like there'd be a lot of them. Maybe I could do some of like the main battalions or something like that. That's a good idea, J4. I'll make a note of that. We'll make a little note here. We'll do like unit mottos or something. Unit mottos. Good suggestion. By the way, I got music playing in the background. How does that sound? I have this really cool song that I like that I use from the subscription service that I use, Epidemic Sound, and I just made it, you know, in editing, made it to where it's modified to be an hour-long song. So that way it runs in the background. What do you guys think? Is it audio levels on it pretty good? I did some testing on it and recordings and stuff like that, and it sounded pretty good when I did the testings. So is it too loud, not loud enough? Is it a good song? What do you think? Have you ever heard or watched any of Vet TV's content? I've seen a few videos, not a lot. Pretty funny. The couple of videos I watched are pretty funny. I've only seen a couple though, probably. Why are you avoiding my question? To answer the people with money? I didn't even think I saw it. Where was your question? Weren't you the one who asked just a second ago about the felony thing? And I said I didn't know. Unless you had another, did you have a different question earlier that I just didn't see? I don't know, man. I don't know. But I saw something about that felony thing, which I've never actually been the person on the end of clearing somebody of a security clearance, so I don't know. I've gotten a security clearance. I have a security clearance. That's what you're talking about. So, hey Chris, been a while anyways. I've been watching, what was it, Jive Turkey live stream recently. Don't know what that is. Was that misspelling somewhere? Chris be dropping some curse words, did I? Well, dang. Yeah, it's not too bad. YouTube doesn't, like, unless I was dropping a lot of F-bombs and all sorts of craziness, then it's not a big deal. Knows burglary. Are you guys talking about the thing? My recruiter and his station commander said I wouldn't be caught, so I listened to them. I'm trying to get second opinions. Yeah, I think, I don't know for sure, but I would think you'd possibly be good and be okay. If it's not on your record anymore, I would think so. Does Army Infantry learn the same things as Marine Assaultmen does? Want to join and learn it, but heard Marines were phasing the MOS out. I don't think they would phase it out. You're going to have still infantry things. I don't know for sure if they do the same things as like infantry in the United States Army. I think in the Marines they also do some swimming stuff where you won't really do that in the Army. So they add in some different like survival kind of things, like if you were to fall in the water, to drown proofing kind of things, different scenarios. So they have a few things like that, and they're more focused on a little bit different style than I think the Army. So it probably would be slightly different than U.S. Army Infantry. You still accept gift packages? If so, what's your P.O. box? Always, man. I don't mind if you want to send me a letter. You can send me a self-addressed envelope, and I'll send you a chaos sticker. But it's down in the description. There's the P.O. box down there, and all my recent videos I'll have in the description section. It has my P.O. box. So yeah, it's all down in the description. So. And it's, I mean, if you really wanted to like come back to the video later, if you can't find the description area for whatever reason, it's right here too. So you could always go and come back to this video later after it's processed if you can't find in the description area for some crazy reason, and you can screenshot that sucker right there. So, but that's the P.O. box. But yeah. If Chris misses your question, don't get pissy about it. Yeah, I definitely agree. There's 36 people, I guess, and I got 37 right now. What do we got? 41 likes. So we're trying to up the ante and try to get to 100 likes. So if you're enjoying the live stream so far and you haven't hit the like button, maybe think about it. You know, no pressure. I'm not forcing anybody, but if you want to, you know, maybe we'll try to see if we can get the stream to 100 likes. But yes, I agree. Sometimes if I read every single question I've done, which I used to do that back in the day, and then it eventually ends up getting to the point where I'm so far behind on the questions that by the time I get to some of the questions farther down in the chat, some of those people didn't really want to stick around for that long, and they're gone. So I'm answering questions for people who aren't even here anymore. So I have to jump around in the comment sections. Most of the time, not a personal thing. Occasionally, like if I see you have some crazy, stupid question that's like, you know, just trying to troll me or something crazy, then yeah, I'm not gonna read your damn question. But you know, for the most part, I jump around in the comment section and the questions and try to answer what I can, and it's non-personal. I'm sorry if I missed your question. All right, I apologize. But you can always, the best bet you can always do is come back to this video after it's processed, leave a comment in there, because there's not usually a lot of comments on these things afterwards, and there's a better chance I can, you know, answer it then. So, what do your tattoos mean? They were just cool things that I wanted to get at the time. I mean, I've got the heartogram from him. I've got the tribal kind of type of thing, but with skulls all inside of it, and different skulls, and then some flames, because I was inspired by Chester Bennington from Linkin Park to have something similar. And then I have my very first tattoo, which is a barcode. It says "Made in America" with my birth date on it. So nothing super deep or anything really, I guess. Promotions aren't good because someone dies or doesn't, and up to it, just my opinion. Promotions aren't good because someone dies? What the heck are you talking about? You usually don't get promoted because someone dies. If that's what you're talking about, you get promoted because you've been in the military for a certain amount of time and been at that rank for a certain amount of time. That's how it usually ends up working. Like, what are you talking about? Like assault drug, I have a hit and run, and the Army said no big deal. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, maybe it sometimes depends on how long I think ago it was. That sometimes plays in a factor. Hey Chris, can a private and a sergeant get in trouble if they have relations and are in the same unit? Ooh, you're trying to get into probably what will be 2 Minute Tuesday's video. But you said a sergeant and a private, and if they're in the same unit, yeah, because technically that's fraternization, so they consider that fraternization. So an NCO technically shouldn't be having any kind of relationship with anyone who's not an NCO. So usually, you know, if you had that relationship prior to becoming an NCO, they don't make too big of a deal of it somewhat, but if you're in the same unit, then that can still be a problem because you can favorite that person as a non-commissioned officer. So it gets a little tricky at times, so it's better to, if you're a lower enlisted soldier, to be dating other lower enlisted soldiers. If you're an NCO, it's best to date another NCO or civilian, or sometimes it'll be okay if it's a lower enlisted from another unit, but that kind of still is kind of a gray area a little bit too. So, I sent a movie? Yeah, I watched it, man. Steve, I watched the movie. I know I still haven't watched all of it, but I watched it, most of it. Can I join the Army with international bachelor's degree as an officer? With an international bachelor's degree? I don't know. I don't know how it works. Like you're talking about, like you have a bachelor's degree from another country. I don't know. I don't know if the Army treats it as a bachelor's degree whereas what country it's from. Maybe you'd be okay. But you know, the degree alone doesn't necessarily get you in as an officer. You still have to go to either. Well, if you already have the degree, then that means you're gonna have to go to OCS. So you have to apply for OCS, and then if you get accepted for OCS, then you can come in as an officer. But yeah. So. But I don't know if I'm 100% sure. I would think maybe so, that they would do that. How long you should be a first lieutenant till you can get promoted to captain? So that part of that also comes to just some different factors, because to get moved from a lieutenant to a captain, you have to go to the career course or the captain's course. I don't remember. Is it still called the career course? I don't know if it's still called a career course or captain's course, but there's a course you have to go to qualify to get promoted. As far as the time in service, I'm not too sure. I want to say it's something like being a lieutenant for at least a year or something like that, and being in the Army for 2 years or something like that to be able to get promoted to captain. But I'm not 100% sure on those time frames. I just want to, that sounds familiar, but they have a school you also have to go to as well called the career course that, or it might have changed the names since then, but you have to go through before you can get promoted to captain. Chris, I've been told my drill sergeants find out I did JROTC, they're going to give me a really hard time. Was this true while you were in? Well, if you did JROTC, like especially if you did 4 years, you're going to get to come in at a higher rank. So they're going to make you have a little bit more responsibility than certain other people. They might make you a squad leader, a platoon sergeant. It just kind of depends. I mean, otherwise they're not normally going to find out you went to JROTC unless you told them. It's not really something that's just on your records, I don't think. So, but I mean, there's the possibility that if they found something out like that, or if you're coming in as a higher rank, they're going to give you more responsibility, so you'll have it in that way. To kind of have a little bit, they'll kind of mess with you a little bit, I guess. So, yeah. Hey Chris, can you tell me what it might be like coming from National Guard infantry to active duty infantry? If you have had any experience with receiving National Guard or any of your old units. So I think just the biggest thing is like, I would imagine with National Guard infantry, you probably stay fairly busy-ish on those times when you have to come in for drill or whatever you guys do, kind of a thing, because they line up training. Where active duty infantry, you're gonna have a lot of times where you're sitting around doing nothing. You'll do some bogus training just in the motor pool or in the back of the office area, they call it the glass house training, where you're doing basically like raid drills of clearing rooms, but you're doing it with like, they just tape off an area and they say this is the room and there's no walls or anything like that. So you go through and practice that, and you're practicing a lot of things, and then crappy details sometimes too of just clean up stuff. So you're probably not as busy as you would be probably in the National Guard, because you're coming to work every day and sometimes you don't have something to do every day. So when did you grow a beard? Pretty much right after I got out of the Army. I pretty much grew a beard right when I got out. Chris went to the event hosted by Nam Knights MC. Your Chaos shirt got a lot of compliments. Well, awesome, man. Good to hear. I'm working on some new ones. They have it where now I can do all over print shirts. So like these like Extreme Couture and Affliction style shirts, I can do shirts like this, and I'm gonna try to work on some cool designs to try to make some of these. They're a little bit more pricier, I think, but hopefully if I can do some cool designs, it'll look really cool. I can have some of these. I like these kind of shirts that are printed, have something printed all over them. Maybe we'll see about trying to be able to come up with that, hopefully. So, I'm in Dallas, Texas. Awesome. I was 55 pounds and they were going to send me to Johnson Island to burn nerve agent. It's crazy. Have a good night, everyone. Got that motor pool Monday tomorrow. Ugh, traveling soldier. You had command maintenance. I need to do it. I have it on my list of videos to explain Mondays in the Army, otherwise known as command maintenance, and what that is like. So at some point in time, that'll probably be a video to explain to the people who have not yet experienced command maintenance and motor pool Monday and motor stables and all that kind of stuff of what that is like. It's not exciting at all. You need 18 time and grade as a first lieutenant to go to captain. There you go. Hawkeye Johnson, 18 months. 18 months, there you go. 18 months. But yeah, you still have a course that you have to go to as well. Thank you for answering my question, Chris. I'll make sure to give you a like and a sub. Well, thank you, Nick. Thank you very much. Now, what are we at for likes? We got 53? Man, so we're past that 50 goal of previous one. So we're still shooting to up the ante on this live stream. So we have a new set, a new look. I'm probably gonna redesign this whole template too, probably eventually as well. But since we have a whole new look and style, we're upping the ante to 100 likes. Trying to get to 100 likes. So if you have not yet liked the stream, make sure you do so. Can you take the ASVAB again while on active duty? Yes, you can. So if you improve your score, your GT score on there, because that's really the main thing. Like if you want to reclass and you want to switch to another MOS, but you don't have a high enough GT score on from your ASVAB results, you have to have like a 110 at least on your GT to be able to qualify to reclass, and you can retake the ASVAB essentially, and then that'll allow you to try to up your score. I think if you score lower than what you already had, then I don't think they like drop your score. I don't believe. I think they keep whatever your score was. But if you improve it, then you get to up it and have a better score. So, anyone know any info on 74 Delta? What's a 74 Delta? Probably not. Doesn't sound familiar though. But let's find out. What is a 74 Delta? Chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear. So CBRN. I don't know a whole lot about it. There's a guy I work with who did that in both the Army and the Marines, but I don't really know a whole lot of what they do. I don't know. Teespring has a lot of people with some awesome creative designs. Yeah, Teespring's pretty good. I like it so far. So I switched from, I had Spreadshirt before that were making my shirts, and now Teespring makes my shirts, and I have a few from Teespring that I like that are pretty good. They're basically just as good a quality I think as Spreadshirt, but the thing I like about Teespring is you can get a little bit more creative with some of the designs. You have that ability for all over pattern. You have the availability to even create your own discounts and everything like that. So when things come about and I want to create a discount for merch, then I can easily do that, and it's very easy to do. So you can only do a certain amount of like a discount. I would love to just make it be like, hey, 90% off. Whoever wants to go buy a Chaos t-shirt, get it for super cheap. But there is a limit of what they will let you give a discount on, because they still have to make profit off of it. So that's kind of the tough part, but I like it. I think we'll get there in the stream, maybe. What are we at now? We're at 60, so we're getting there. We're not too far away, and we're only 30 minutes in, so we got another half hour to go on this, so this should be pretty good. What do you think about the Rangers? Pretty high speed. They do some pretty cool stuff. I didn't know any like people who were Rangers like while they were Rangers. Just people who like used to be in the Army and were in the Rangers. So that kind of thing. Nonstop was at 1491. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Struggle is real too. I'm calling it a night. Gotta wake up at 4. Take care. Well, thanks, Evie. Thanks for stopping in, hanging out, fighting the sleep. Have a great night and get some good rest. for the morning. Why does the MOS 35 Foxtrot is not for officers too, and who lead the soldiers if officers cannot do it? So the MOS categories aren't the same for officers. They have their own kind of thing. Where enlisted soldiers, it's very specific to their MOS. So 88 Mike, you know, whatever the MOS is very specific to that job. Where an officer, they get kind of more assigned. They won't necessarily be like, let's say like in that example, the 88 Mike. You're not gonna have an officer as an 88 Mike, you're gonna have an officer that's assigned to the Transportation Corps. And so they can be anything that's related to transportation. It's not a set focused kind of a thing. They could be in a support unit with transportation items. They could be in some other larger asset of support, not necessarily working with 88 Mikes. They'd be working with some of the other 88 series MOSs. So theirs is a little bit more specific to the branch, whereas enlisted soldiers is very specific to the job. So it works a little bit different. So like for that example, what was it? I lost where it was at. The 34 or something like that. 35 Foxtrot, so they would be more whatever 35 Foxtrot is. That 35 series MOS is more of that branch that an officer would be assigned to, is that 35 series type of field, and they would work anywheres in that field, kind of along those lines, somewhat. Anyways, so do you know if National Guard goes to NTC as well? They do. Yeah, National Guard and Reserves can still do it. I don't know how often they do it. I know like active duty do it all the time, but you can have reservists that will go and have to do a month in NTC, National Guard, but I don't know how often they do that, so I don't know. But yeah, they usually do. You missed my question? Well, I probably missed a lot of people's questions, $5. Let me see. Well, let's see here. Since I saw your thing there, I can't do this all the time. Sometimes it's hard to find your guys' questions. Sometimes I'll go back. Try to see if I can find it. If I can't find it though, man, sorry, there's nothing I can do. What happens to your dorm room when you get deployed? You turn everything in. So your barracks room, if you are going to be deployed, there's a possibility, not always, but there's a possibility that when you come back, you won't go back to the same barracks building. They might reassign you because they might give those barracks to somebody else who's come back off of deployment, or whatever the case might be. So you pack up all of your stuff. All your stuff gets packed up and it gets sent, gets put in a storage, place while you're on deployment. And you have to clear your room. And then when you come back, then they'll have, before you come back, they'll have somebody back in the post that's setting up the barracks for everybody coming back. And so maybe the same building, it might be a different building. Every time I did it, it was always a different building. It wasn't, we never came back to the same building. And they'll have it laid out who's going to what room and everything. So when you come back, they tell you here's your room, and then you'll have to schedule an appointment for those gypso, the people that moved all your stuff, to come drop off all your stuff at your room, and then you can unbox it all and resettle into your barracks room. So that's how it usually ends up working. Do you know anything about what Rangers do? They do a lot. So I mean, you can have, there's a lot of MOSs you can have in the Rangers. It's not like Special Forces where they're really specific as to what they're going to be doing. You can have like 88 Mikes, you can have, cooks, you can have commo people, and they'll do those same jobs, but in a Ranger unit. And so that works a slightly different kind of way. So Rangers have 75 different special jobs. Yes, there's a lot of MOSs that qualify for it. You're essentially still doing your MOS, but in a Ranger battalion. So it probably is still more high speed than like a regular unit, and as far as your mission, but you're still doing your mission. It's not like an 18 series with the Special Forces. While on active duty, what's the percentage of people on your base you interact with personally? Quite a few. I mean, you got your whole unit that you're working with and doing stuff with, and you get to know a lot of people. So I mean, you make a lot of friends. I got a lot of people I still talk to that I was in different units with. So, if you could travel back in time, what time period would you visit and why? I don't know. I feel like certain times were pretty rough until more. I mean, even still certain times now, recently. But I don't know. It's dangerous probably to go to the past. You go too far back and you'll get shot. You'll get some kind of crazy disease that they can't cure or something. I don't know. Maybe the 80s would be fun. Like I was, really, really young when I was in the 80s, but maybe the 80s, I probably wouldn't do anything too crazy. I'd probably rather go to the future than anything. Than rather go into the past. But maybe have some fun going to like a Motley Crue concert or going to see Metallica when Metallica was still like a really small band. Maybe something like that. I don't know. I'd probably be more interested in the future. Can you do a video explaining why a unit is called like first and such? Maybe, but that'd be kind of difficult because it's really just the numbering sequence they kind of came up with and added them to make them fall into certain divisions and different levels and all that stuff like that. So I don't know. That might be kind of really complicated to try to explain. 35 Fox is intelligence analyst, so intelligence officers will be responsible for this MOS. Yeah, so you're going to be stuck with like officers that will be just in an intelligence branch, and so they won't necessarily be assigned like a 35 Fox, but they'll be working with intelligence. Ford Ranger, pretty much all terrain. I don't think that's what he was talking about. Hey Chris, do you know any Army? Do you know the Army has boats? They do. The MOSs are 88 kilo and 88, what was it, India. It would be awesome if you do a video on it and shed some light on them. I've only been one for a few months, but it's been great. Yeah, I mean, it's not something I'm super familiar with. It just takes a little bit of research, I guess. But yeah, I did know that the Army does have boats. They're nothing crazy like the Navy has. They're smaller boats, obviously. But yeah, there's the 88 kilo that operates with boats. But yeah, they're small boats, like little tugboats or little small rafts or whatever. They're not nothing huge like an aircraft carrier or anything insane like the Navy has. So it's a little bit different. I'm enlisting to the Army active. I'm married with 2 kids, but also have 2 more kids with another girl. My recruiter mentioned something about giving up my right for other kids. It's a complicated thing. Like, I don't know all the logistics of that part of it where you have to give up the kids, but it's partly because, like, if you have some kind of like custody agreement that, you know, requires you to be in a certain radius or whatever the time kind of thing is, and you have to kind of do that to get around that, and a lot of other things. I'm not super familiar with it. But yeah, it is kind of a tough situation, so I really can't help you on any good advice with that or shed any light on that because I've never experienced that. I don't know a whole lot about that. You'd have to try to talk to somebody who's been in a situation like that, because I was not. Is 25 Bravo the best MOS that transfers to the civilian world? I don't even know what a 25 Bravo is. Let's find out. 25 Bravo, information technology specialist. Probably. I don't know what they do though. Is that what Matt Ward is? I see it pops up with a, a recommended video from Matt Ward talking about it. So maybe. I mean, it's probably some kind of cool computer-related IT kind of field type of thing, to where you can get out and probably get some kind of cool IT job. So it's possible. I don't know for sure though. Nice, my first live Chaos Chris. Love the channel. Well, thanks, Michael. Welcome to Chaos Live, the fun live stream where I get to hang out with you and answer as many questions as possible. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes people get mad about that, but I do my best. I do my best. Let's see. Who is the highest ranking person you were friends with? I got to know a lieutenant colonel fairly well. That was actually friends with? I don't know. Nothing probably too crazy. Maybe a lieutenant. Nothing too crazy. There was this lieutenant that when I was in 30 ACR, that was really cool. He was single. He had housing. It was not supposed something you're supposed to do. Like, lieutenants are not supposed to be hanging out with like sergeants and specialists and everything. But there was a group of us. There were a mixture of sergeants and specialists, and we would go to his house on post. He had a house on post, and he would have parties, and we'd go drinking. He had a stripper pole in there, and we'd goof around on a stripper pole and, you know, swing around on it and try to see, you know, who could hang upside down from the stripper pole. It was like one of those portable ones that you could just like screw into the ceiling and everything like that. I don't know why he had the thing, but he was a pretty good party animal. So that was probably, I guess, the highest ranking friend-wise. Otherwise, I wouldn't say I had anybody higher ranking than a first lieutenant that was considered a friend, I guess. What happens when you get to basic training reception and you messed up the Army pay paperwork? we still get paid. They're gonna notice it. They're gonna check it over. So they probably expect people to screw that crap up, right? Because you're new, you don't know what you're doing, and you're filling that stuff out. Some people are fresh out of high school and never had to do any kind of employment records or anything like that. So they're gonna check it over. If you screwed it up, sure, they might give you a hard time and they're gonna have to redo it. That's possible. But before that stuff gets turned in, someone's gonna check it out and you know, look at it. I mean, the only thing you're really filling out is your tax paperwork, the W-2, I think, really, and then your banking information and confirming that. I think usually they have you like give up a blank check though, or something like that, or a voided check. They have you void a check so they can get the accurate routing number and stuff. I think they still do it that way. But yeah, someone's gonna check it and make sure that you did it properly before it gets submitted so that you don't have any kind of pay issues. Hey, I've been in the Army for 6 months now, and my MOS is 91 Sierra, Striker Systems Maintainer. I got my first unit, and they're sending me to Fort Hood, Texas. Do you know how it is over there? So Fort Hood is like a 50-50 kind of thing with a lot of people. Some people love Fort Hood, some people hate Fort Hood. Because just like a lot of jobs, you might get stuck with like really crappy leadership that you don't like, that does things that you're not a fan of. And some people get great units they love. So that you have that kind of possibility of either getting a great unit or getting a really bad unit. But the Fort Hood area isn't too bad if you get away from Fort Hood. The immediate area is Killeen, and Killeen, I've only experienced it for like a couple weeks. It wasn't for very long. And it was okay. It wasn't the greatest area. Killeen wasn't. But if you go a little bit farther away for like, you know, another 20, 30 minutes, hour, or whatever, then you have places like Austin and San Antonio that are pretty cool from my experience of getting to visit those places. Austin and San Antonio are pretty cool places. So if you get away from the Fort Hood area, there's lots of things to still do, cool things to see, and have a good time with. But you know, there's no guarantee of whether you'll get a great unit at Fort Hood, or if you get like really crappy unit that is really strict on certain things, or goes to the field all the time, or whatever. Because that's also kind of the big thing too with Fort Hood, is the weather isn't too bad, I don't believe, most of the time at Fort Hood. So they have a lot of good enough weather to allow you to go to the field probably pretty often. So, let's see. Thanks anyway. You're amazing, man. Keep up the good work. Did you have to ask a question? I missed it. Let's see. Is that what this is going on? Let's see. First gen American soldier. I'll look back a little bit. Let me see if I see. If I see something. Here we go. I've been listening to the Army active. Oh yeah, okay, never mind. Yeah, I talked about yours. Yeah, so I don't know the whole logistics of the whole thing with having a child with another person trying to come in. So my dog hanging out down here. Rules don't allow more than 2 dependents. I don't know what you're talking about. Rule for what? Because I mean, you can have more than 2 dependents in the military. Oh, you're talking about like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know if you're talking about children, counting children, or you're talking about spouses. I don't know. Chris, thanks for even taking the time to answer all these damn questions. I try my best. What's the highest rank you've come into contact with? What was General Petraeus? Was he a 4-star? Or was he a 3-star? Well, other than Petraeus, which I think I met him once at an airport. I think he was a 4-star general. General Petraeus was, I don't forget. But, or no, it wasn't Petraeus, it was Ordinero. It was the guy that replaced Petraeus. I think that guy was a 4-star general. So I met him once, and then I met a Navy guy, Admiral Mullins, which was the Secretary of Defense, and I have a coin back that way from Admiral Mullins, from the Secretary of Defense. So those are probably the highest people I've ever like came in contact with and talked to. Hey Chris, don't want to abandon the live stream, but I got to get up at 4, man, and hit the gym. Basic is less than a month and a half away. Have a good night. Well, good luck to you, Jacob. You got to get that grind in. You got to get everything ready. So I get it, man. Thanks for joining him for a little bit. I'm back and hanging out for a short period of time. Awesome 9mm. How was South Korea? I liked it. I mean, I was kind of like in Central Korea because I was on the DMZ at the JSA, right on the border. But it was fun. There was a lot of cool stuff I got to see and a lot of cool touristy kind of things. They were pretty cool. You ever been chewed out by your first sergeant or commander, or even anybody that has? Yeah, oh yeah, of course. I mean, it's pretty impossible. You do stupid little things or whatever. Well, I'm trying to think, by a first sergeant or a commander. Commander's usually pretty cool most of the time. I don't know if I've ever gotten chewed out by the commander. First sergeant, maybe, probably, like in my early army career days, there's probably little things you probably screw up and someone gets on you for that stuff. So, maybe. It's called the hood for a reason, yeah. Like I said, the nearby area isn't, some parts of the nearby area aren't the greatest. So, can you go airborne in the National Guard? Yes, I believe so. Pretty sure you can. Probably a little harder to get compared to like active duty people, so it depends on the availability of slots and all that kind of stuff. If it ain't raining, we ain't training. If it's not snowing, we ain't going. Yeah. Sometimes you get lucky with a 2-hour delay. If it's snowing out, you might get a 2-hour delay and you have to, you know, come in 2 hours later, or even get a snow day in the Army. It happens. Sometimes it's rare, and it depends on your post. If you're in an area that's got a lot of snow all the time, like Alaska, you're probably never going to see that crap. Or even Fort Drum, but in certain other areas, they're not well enough prepared for it. Carlos, thank you for joining the Chaos Army. You rock. How does on-base housing work? So the only people that can qualify for on-base housing are going to be married individuals, and senior enlisted or officers will qualify for on-post housing. There's a housing office you have to go to where you have to see if there's availability for the rank you are. So like lower enlisted soldiers have a specific housing. So the higher rank you are, the better housing you'll get. So say you're a E1, right? They have a specific area for like E1 to E3 area, usually E2s. And if there's available housing that also will be able to house however many children you have, then you can move into it shortly. But if not, you have to go on a waiting list. And then when you get close on that waiting list, then they'll contact you and let you know. But you have to apply for it from the housing place. If not, then you have to live off base until something opens up on post. But if you live on post, you don't receive BAH because they take your BAH. But if you're living off post, sometimes you can get a nicer place with your BAH than you would get living in on-post housing. So you usually have to weigh the options of what you kind of want to do. What do we have for likes? We're at 65. Trying to get to 100 likes on this live stream. We got about 10, 15-ish minutes left of this live stream. So let's see if we can't get the live stream to 100 likes before we end it today. So we're at 65 according to my screen over there. So if you're enjoying this live stream and you haven't yet, hit that like button. Make sure to hit that like button. Still doing my March 12 miles, 1 mile to go. Oh man, Eugene. This gets tough now, right? I was sucking today. I can't do that again where I just don't work out all week and then try to do a 14 miler. I was sucking around mile 9. So this week I got to get back into it, make sure I get in some good road marching workouts, and then this next weekend we're going to be doing 16 miles, and then a couple more weeks and we're doing the big 26er down in New Mexico. I don't know if there's anybody in here that is in the El Paso, Texas area, but I'm probably going to try to do something where if there are some people in that area and they want to meet up and kind of hang out for a little bit, I'll post something online here soon, maybe in a week or two, to kind of let everybody know to hit me up if you are going to be in the El Paso area around that March 15th it'll be, because it'll be that Friday, and we'll do something where I hang out with you guys for a little bit if you're in that El Paso, Texas area, because I'll be in El Paso for one of the days and then moving over to Las Cruces to get ready for the march for the rest of the days. So, has anyone fired a firearm of any kind? If so, what is it and what caliber? I've fired a lot. Done the 240 Bravo, the SAW, M4, 9mm. I've done AT4. I've thrown a grenade. I mean, it's not a firearm really, but I don't know. I've done an MP5. I've done an Uzi. I've done a 45 pistol. I've done an AK-47. I've done quite a few. Hey Chris, if I go to Germany without my spouse, what type of benefits would I get? You won't get anything really extra special. They'll put you in barracks. You won't get separation pay because it was voluntary. Like, so if it was something where you weren't allowed to bring your spouse, then you get separation pay. But if it's something where you're allowed to bring your spouse but you don't want to bring your spouse, they won't give you separation pay for that. They'll continue paying you BAH for wherever she's going to be staying at, or your spouse is going to be staying at. They'll still continue giving you BAH for that area. So that means you'll have to live in the barracks in Germany. And typically, sometimes they make your tours a little bit shorter. If you're going unaccompanied for like Germany, I think you only do like a 1-year tour, where if you're going accompanied, they do 2-year tours, but I think that's changed somewhat too. So you might still get to do a 2-year tour if you're not going accompanied. I don't know though for sure on that part, but not really anything special as far as benefits. You're still gonna need BAH, but it'll be for the area of where your spouse is staying at, and you'll be stuck living in the barracks. Hey Chris, ever heard of anyone being subjected, well, lost your question, where'd you go? Oh, subjected to a barracks inspection even if they live off post? It can happen. I don't remember if I ever had a barracks. Yeah, I think I did. So like when I came back from my first deployment of Iraq, I didn't want to live in the barracks anymore. So I was making enough money and didn't have a lot of bills because my car was paid off to have it in my own apartment, but I had to maintain a room in the barracks. And I think there might have been a couple times where they had barracks inspections. Most of the time they knew I lived off post, so they didn't really care. And they would do a barracks inspection occasionally where they wanted me to still be there, which was super easy because I didn't have anything in there other than my TA-50 inside my closet. So they did that a couple times and realized it was pointless for me to, I think, do barracks inspections because I lived off post, and the only thing I had was my TA-50 in the closet, so they really didn't care after a while. So it's still possible. So I'm from El Paso, man, but I'm stationed in Virginia, unfortunately. Great city, though. Yeah, I'll get hopefully a chance to check out El Paso a little bit. I'll only be there for one of the days, and then the other 2 days, 2.5 days-ish, will be in Las Cruces. So, are you coming to Fort Benning area? Not anytime soon. I don't have any plans for anything. I mean, I really had fun doing that last year. I did this little chaos tour thing where I went to Los Angeles, Dallas, and then Denver, and then Colorado Springs technically too. But that was really fun. But there wasn't a whole lot of people that showed up for any of it. I think the most people that showed up were 3. There was 3 at one. 2 at another one, 1 at one location. So it wasn't super successful for the amount of money that I had to spend to fly to those locations and stay in those locations. So if I do anything like that again this year, I'll have to kind of organize it a little bit differently. Maybe do something where I'm going to go somewhere to shoot a video or do some other event so that there's something that ties into it, so it's not just going there to see who wants to kind of meet up with me. But I would love to. It was super fun doing it. Fort Benning, I mean, we could do, it probably wouldn't, I don't know if that'd be Columbus. It'd probably be more easier to go to Atlanta. So maybe like Atlanta area if I did something like that. So we'd have to see though. Maybe, it'd be fun. Well, how many likes are we at? 76, we're at 76 likes. We're getting close to the end of the live stream. We're trying to get to 100 likes. If you haven't hit the like button and you're enjoying it thus far, hit that like button. Hey Christopher, just hanging out before work. Missy from New Zealand. Your room looks cool. Monday, 4:30 p.m. Thanks for stopping in, Missy. It's my office, it's not my room. Where I'm hanging out with posters and my bed's in here or anything like that. But it's my little office in the house, down in the basement. So, question, Chris, do they still have the M203 grenade launcher? They do. They still have the M203 grenade launcher. I think it's pretty cool. I fired that thing before too. Was that Teal Cardinal 10? Thanks for subscribing and joining the Chaos Army if you are here in the live stream. Hey, just joined. Do you hunt? I don't. No, I'm not a hunting kind of person. So I do not hunt. Oh, girlfriend's texting me. Oh, check out my crazy daughter. My crazy daughter is supposed to be in bed right now. And instead of being in bed, this is a screenshot from the camera in her room. She is up on top of the changing table and climbed up there. She's a wild and crazy baby. Oh, geez. That crazy kid. Christopher Chaos, does the amount of money you get for college from the Army depend on your MOS? No. So it just is based off of your how much it costs for the schooling. So they have a certain amount of funds usually. So like if you're trying to do it while you're in the Army, there's different ways you can do it. It's difficult in some ways to do it though. So like you can get permission just to simply go to school and get tuition assistance. That's really hard to get approved to do. Most people that get a chance to go to school while they're in, you only get to go for 1 semester and you re-enlist for it. So say you join the Army with a 4-year contract, you've done 3 years already, and it's time for you to have the option to be able to re-enlist. You can re-enlist with college option, which will allow you to go to school for 1 semester, and that'll pay for your schooling if you pass. Like if you don't pass your classes, you fail any of your classes, you're responsible for paying for those classes. But it's not based on your MOS. It's just based on whatever the price of the school is, really. So, but it's like I said, it's a little difficult to do while you're in the Army. It's a little easier to do when you get out. Is the Montgomery GI Bill worth it, and what is it? Yeah, it's definitely worth it. So you have 2 options to do it. You have to make that selection when you come into the Army, whether you want to do the Montgomery GI Bill or the post 9/11. The Montgomery GI Bill makes it to where if you want to go to college when you get out, they're going to basically pay you to go to school. They're going to give you money to pay the school for your classes, even a book stipend, and they'll pay you, and you kind of use that money to live off of a little bit, to pay your school off. If you get grants, then that makes it even cheaper, because then you have more money you can pocket to help you kind of survive. And then if you don't get any grants or whatever, then you're stuck pretty much blowing all that money for schooling for the Montgomery GI Bill one. But you can also do the post 9/11, which the post 9/11 pays the school directly. You don't even have to pay the school because they're going to do it for you. And then you're going to receive BAH for your area for the rate of an E5 in that area to go to school, as long as you're going full time. So there's a couple different ways. The nice thing about like the Montgomery GI Bill one is they pay for you to do, is it 2 years of schooling? I don't think it's 4 years of schooling, is it? I think it's 2 years of school. I don't remember, I forget. But if you use up all of it, then you can switch to the post 9/11 for an additional year. If you use up all of your post 9/11 one, and you didn't do the Montgomery GI Bill, you can't like switch or anything like that. And that one's done and over with. I still have some of my Montgomery GI Bill left. I don't remember how much, but I could possibly still kind of use that if I wanted to. What is an 11 Alpha? Is that an MOS? There's only 2 11 series MOSs, isn't there? 11 Bravo and 11 Charlie. 11 Alpha MOS? I don't think that's an MOS. Oh, it's a infantry officer. So that's an officer in the infantry. So, was it a Jeddah? What's up? DuckTales, you heard that? No. That's the girlfriend's text tone, is DuckTales. I mean to ask, if you live off post, for example, as 2 E5 that are single, are you still subject to any kind of wellness inspection from your senior NCO? So you're talking about like 2 your place off post? Technically, yes. I don't think I've ever seen anybody actually do that though, because they technically say that they could do, well, I don't know about off post. Like on post, they technically can for like on post housing. If they wanted to do a wellness check on your on post housing, I don't know if they could do that on off post housing. So I don't think that applies for off post. I think it only applies for on post. So, enjoy while it lasts. Mine is going to be 9 years this May. What are you talking about? Oh, for the daughter, yeah. She's so my daughter will turn 2 June 30th. So, hey Chris, how does the age waiver work, and what's the chances of me getting in at 40 for 80? Mike, 40? I feel like that'd be difficult. I don't know for 100% for sure, because most of the time the people that are doing age waivers is usually for like a year or two over, a little bit over. That's 5 years over the requirement. So I don't really know. It might be difficult, but I don't know. Can you join having an IRS debt? Possibly, but if you're trying to get an MOS that's requires a security clearance, you might not be able to do that though. So that's probably the only thing that can kind of screw you over. If you have a lot of debt and you need a security clearance, then they usually a lot of times won't grant a security clearance for someone who has got a lot of debt. So that's kind of the tough part. All right, so we're wrapping up. We're getting close here. We're at 1 hour now, so maybe another 5 minutes. We got to 85 likes. We got close. We're only at 5 minutes left. I don't know if we'll be able to get to that last little bit to get to 100 before, but if you are in this live stream and you have not yet hit that like button and you're enjoying it, make sure to hit that thumbs up. I do have a mailing address. It's down in the description box. So here it is. You don't have to like hurry up and write it down now, because it is also down in the description. It's also down in the description for a lot of my videos, most of my videos, especially like all of my ones from like 2018, I think, since then pretty much. You can find this address, so you can send me letters to say what's up. You can send me rock stars, that's cool, like Jay the Vorn did for my birthday, which was awesome. You can send me a self-addressed envelope with a stamp on it, and I will, as long as I still have some Chaos stickers, I'll send you back a Chaos sticker if you like. So that is the P.O. Box if you want to send me mail, or even send me just an empty envelope with a stamp on it and your address, then I'll send you back a sticker inside of it. So that's the mainline address. It's like I said, it's down in the description as well as all my videos and all that kind of stuff. I do have merch kind of a thing. I know Doug recently got a Chaos shirt. So if anybody is interested in Chaos shirts, if you go to ChristopherChaos.com, there's a link for the Chaos store, or you can go to ChristopherChaos.com/store. And I have some different Chaos shirts. I'm going to work on some new designs, especially now that I can do those all-over style t-shirts like Affliction does. I have some different ones. I also have, for the hell of it all, some leggings because it was an option. I don't know if I'll ever see anybody buy Chaos leggings, but they, you know, it was an option, so I was like, screw it. I'll put Chaos leggings on there. Maybe someone one day will buy it. But the common one is the classic Chaos t-shirt, $19.99. If it loads, let's see, bam. It's got the cool Chaos logo on it, and I'm working on some other cool ones. So that is available. I do still have a Patreon. I haven't been super active with kind of doing things for Patreon because I was hoping that once I got past 30 subscribers, that YouTube was going to give me the subscription option for people to join my channel and get cool perks like little icons next to their name in the live chat and on comments and all sorts of other stuff. They still haven't given it to me. I don't know if they're, you know, when they're going to ever give it to me. So I think we got to get back into, you know, using Patreon to hook people up who want a little bit more from the channel than what they normally get. So we have a couple. We have an easy one. This is a $1 one. If you just, you know, want to help support the channel a little bit more by donating $1 monthly, then you can do so, and you get a little bit of intel on maybe some upcoming videos. And then if you want to up it to a $5 one, then those ones will give you a little bit of more intel, as well as early access to like videos before everybody else gets access to them. So that helps you out. Maybe I'll add some more tiers if I have to get more active with Patreon, then I'll have to do so. But if you go, there's a link down in the description for my Patreon that you can visit. You can also search for Christopher Chaos on Patreon, whatever the deal is. But hopefully at some point in time, they'll allow me to have the subscription kind of thing, the channel membership thing, hopefully soon. And that'll make things a little bit easier, a little bit smoother. We'll do some stuff. I am working on a Discord. I have to kind of learn about it. I've never used Discord, but that might be something I might kind of incorporate soon. A Discord chat kind of a thing to be able to hang out with people and just have a little chat. I was trying it out with the YouTube's chat thing a while back, but that one's kind of not very good for trying to incorporate for this, for the kind of use that I wanted to do, because it doesn't have a lot of the tools and a lot of the settings you really need to be able to manage it properly. So we'll see. I don't know. So we'll do a few more stuff, a few more questions and all that kind of thing. And then we'll cut off this live stream. My music in the background's already ended because it was only an hour-long music. So now there's no music in the background. So, question, what type of merchandise would you like to see from Chris Chaos? I agree. I'm kind of limited though, because there's only certain things that I can do. So, but Doug says hats and patches. Hats are tough. I don't think the Chaos logo I can do on a hat, because they have like a certain criteria for the embroidery, and certain things like how the Chaos logo is too fine a detail and too close together, so it makes it tough to do it. I do have like a different style Chaos shirt hat that I did during that tour, but that was a special one that was like printed on leather, and that would be really hard to do. It's not something I can just put onto the website and have people buy it, so that'd be kind of tough. Patches would be cool. Teespring doesn't offer patches at the moment, so maybe in the future at some point in time. Chaos tidy whities be a little weird. I think you can do underwear, but I don't think I've designed any underwear. So that'd be a little tough, and I'm definitely not doing no Chaos jock strap. Discord with all the emo anime fans. Yeah, I've never used Discord before. Chaos brand pocket knife, wrapping paper. There was somebody talking about how I should do a mystery box. I've been doing those mystery box unboxing videos, and there was someone who was saying that I should do a Chaos box, do a subscription box. That would be fun. I feel like that'd be pretty cool, and maybe at some point that'd be really cool to be able to have something like that, like a mystery box that's got some kind of military themed kind of items to it or something like that. But I feel like they'd be hard to put together. I don't know. So I'd have to see how that works, because the big thing with that is, let's say the box costs, let's say $50, right, for as an example. Well, you want to make sure that the items in that box that someone paid $50 for is maybe worth like way more, worth $100. So that usually requires you having some kind of partnership with someone to be able to get the items that are going to go into it for really cheap, so that way you can make a good profit off of them, and the person buying that box is getting a super great deal for that. Otherwise, they pay $50 and you only spent, $20 on these items, and I'm sure you're gonna be a little mad if you find out these items in this box you could have bought on your own for half the price. So, but maybe at some point a Chaos subscription box would be really cool. I think that'd be kind of neat. So Chaos hand sanitizer. That's a little crazy. Does the Corps of Engineers do anything with DARPA? I don't know. I'm not too sure on that. What should I aim for push-ups for basic? God, what is it? It's something really light for basic. I would just shoot for, because you're gonna have to do an initial PT test at reception, which is like lower standards, like only like 15 push-ups or something like that. And then if you're between 18 and 22 or whatever it is, the standards are, 30 something to pass? I forget. You'd have to look up the PT thing, but I would try to shoot for more than that, because you don't want to just do the bare minimum. So, try to shoot for probably something like being able to do, like, let's say 40 push-ups in 2 minutes. I would look at those PT standards and kind of practice those, time yourself, and see how many you can do in 2 minutes. But look at the standards online and kind of stuff. Finish the 12-mile march. Have a good night. Well, just in time, Eugene. We're about to end up the Chaos Live here in a minute. So, yeah, I ended up working out, had a good time. We got to 89 likes, so not quite the 100, but we got pretty far. We got past the 50 that I had done in the previous ones. So 89 likes is still pretty awesome. So thank you guys for liking the stream. If you haven't done so, maybe make sure to hit that up. Chaos computer stickers? Well, I already have Chaos stickers. You just got to send me a self-addressed envelope with a stamp on it to my mail-in address in the P.O. box, and I'll send you a Chaos sticker for free. We'll ask you the prices that it costs you for that envelope and that stamp. Really. But you can stick it on it. I got Chaos stickers all over the place. I have Chaos stickers on my laptop. I have a Chaos sticker on my tower. I have a Chaos sticker on my desk. I have a Chaos sticker on my car. I got a Chaos sticker on an ammo can back there. They're all over the place. So I have Chaos stickers. How many push-ups do you need to pass? I'd have to look it up. I don't know off the top of my head, so I'm not 100% sure. Where did you go for basic? I went to Fort Benning, and I have a video on my channel of my VHS that I transferred to digital of my basic training from 1999 at Fort Benning, Georgia. So you can check that out. So all right, so there you go. That's going to wrap up Chaos Live today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I will try to schedule the next one. There's a big UFC fight on Saturday, so it's not going to be on Saturday. It'll most likely be on Sunday. If you are watching this post live and it's been processed and you have questions that you want to know about, or I didn't get to your questions in the live chat, drop those questions down in the comment section. I'll help you out. Hit the like on the stream if you enjoyed it. If you're not subscribed, maybe you should probably subscribe and enable notifications so you can join the notification platoon and get alerted as soon as new videos go live, as well as hopefully alerts for these live streams. So thanks for hanging out. Hope you guys enjoy the new set. Monday will be the first real video of the new set to be able to kind of see how it kind of looks in videos. I also have a cool new microphone, so that adds a little bit of quality to it with a lav mic from Rode. That's pretty cool. So there you go. Thank you guys for hanging out. I'll see you guys next time. See ya!